Greetings, history enthusiasts. Before we dive into the thrilling world of the past, remember to subscribe to our channel for more such fascinating content. Today we're journeying back to the era of the Mongols to unearth the top 5 unbelievable facts about their legendary leader, Genghis Khan. Each fact is more astounding than the last, and we've got a shocking bonus fact awaiting you at the end that's more brutal than all the rest. So sit back, relax, and get ready to explore the life of the legendary Genghis Khan. Starting with our first astonishing fact, did you know Genghis wasn't his real name? That's right, the formidable leader of the Mongols, the man known as Genghis Khan, was born with a different moniker. This man, who would go on to shape the course of history, was born along the banks of the Onon River around 1162. He was originally named Temujin, a name that means of iron or blacksmith. But how did Temujin become Genghis? Well, it wasn't until 1206, when he successfully united many of the nomadic tribes of Northeast Asia, that he received the honorific name Genghis Khan. Genghis is believed to mean universal ruler, fitting for a man who would lead the Mongols to create one of the largest empires in history. So the man we know as Genghis Khan was initially a blacksmith named Temujin. Brace yourselves for the second fact. It's a chilling one. Genghis Khan, the great Khan of the Mongols, was responsible for the deaths of as many as 40 million people. Yes, you heard that right, 40 million lives. The scale of his conquest was so vast and so brutal that historians estimate this staggering figure. The truth of it, of course, is impossible to determine with absolute certainty, but the evidence is compelling. Take Iran, for instance, where it's believed that Genghis Khan's war with the Khwarezmid Empire may have wiped out 3/4 of the population. But the bloodshed didn't stop there. Across the globe, his relentless attacks are estimated to have potentially reduced the entire world population by as much as 11%. So Genghis Khan's conquests could have reduced the world population by as much as 11%. A sobering thought, isn't it? Now, let's switch gears with our third fact, which is a bit more light-hearted. Genghis Khan, the fearsome Mongol leader, was actually quite the innovator. One of his significant contributions was establishing one of the world's first international postal systems. Known as the Yam, this courier network was an integral part of the Mongols' communication, allowing messages to be relayed across vast distances with impressive speed. The couriers of the Yam were mounted warriors, capable of covering up to 200 miles in a single day. This was made possible by a series of post houses and way stations, strategically positioned along the route. These stations provided fresh horses and rest for the couriers, ensuring the messages were delivered as quickly as possible. This early postal system allowed Genghis Khan to maintain control over his enormous empire, coordinate his armies, and even gather intelligence. So, one of the most potent weapons of the Mongols was their early version of the postal system. Our fourth fact delves into the mystery surrounding Genghis Khan's death. The circumstances of his demise have puzzled historians for centuries. The traditional narrative suggests he died in 1227 due to injuries from a fall off his horse. However, other theories range from malaria to an arrow wound in the knee. One of the more dubious accounts even implies he was murdered in a failed attempt to force himself on a Chinese princess. But the enigma doesn't end there. Genghis Khan went to great lengths to keep his final resting place a secret. Legend has it, his funeral procession killed everyone they encountered to prevent them from revealing the location. They supposedly rode horses over his grave to conceal it further. While many believe his tomb lies somewhere around a Mongolian mountain called Buran Khaldun, its exact location remains unknown. So, even in death, Genghis Khan managed to remain an enigma. On to our final fact. Did you know the Mongols were usually outnumbered in their battles? Yes, you heard it right. The Mongol warriors often found themselves facing enemy armies that far outnumbered them. But don't think for a moment that they were daunted by this. Instead, they turned it into an advantage. The Mongols were masters of deception and psychological warfare. They would use tactics such as mounting dummies on horses and tying sticks to the horses' tails to kick up dust, creating the illusion of a much larger force. These elaborate ruses would often trick their enemies into believing they were facing a massive Mongol army, causing panic and confusion in their ranks. The Mongols also perfected the art of the feigned retreat to lure enemies into ambushes, showing their shrewd and strategic prowess on the battlefield. These tactics helped the Mongols win battles, even when they were significantly outnumbered. So, the Mongols often tricked their enemies into believing they were a larger force. And now, as promised, here's a bonus fact that's even more shocking. The Mongols, known for their ruthless conquests and unyielding war tactics, had a peculiar rule of war. They held that the blood of nobles should not be spilled. Instead of the usual beheading, they devised other methods of execution for the nobility. These methods ranged from the bone-chilling backbreaking to the slow, agonizing suffocation. The least painful method was neck-breaking, but this was seldom employed. One might wonder, with such a variety of gruesome options, how did they decide on the method of execution? Well, the answer is as chilling as the methods themselves. They chose based on the status of the captive and the mood of the moment. But here's the most shocking part. Once, a large group of Russians, many of whom were nobles, surrendered to the Mongols. The Mongols, adhering to their rule, didn't spill their blood. Instead, they confiscated the captives' weapons and placed them under a wooden platform. The Mongols then stood atop this platform and partied. Yes, you heard it right. They partied their enemies to death. This bizarre yet brutal incident gives a glimpse into the complex and often paradoxical nature of the Mongols' warfare strategies. Hope you found these facts as fascinating as we did. Remember to subscribe for more and check out our other top 5 videos and short fact series on the channel. Until next time, keep exploring history.